Developments now with international relations expert Dr. Kingsley Makhubela. Good morning. Welcome to Newzroom Afrika.
Good morning, Ms. Chava. Thanks very much for your invitation.
All right, let's start with the big question on everyone's lips today. Was it the right call for Trump to order airstrikes on Iran's nuclear sites?
Ms. Chava, it has destroyed the possibility of any negotiations between Iran and the United States. President Trump spoke about having destroyed the nuclear capability. I'm not sure if he has achieved this objective, because the capability does not lie in the infrastructure only. It lies in the intellectual knowledge. That's why Israel has been, in the last few days, targeting key scientists involved in the project. But I think it has created a huge dilemma for the Americans in terms of moving forward and ensuring that Iran does not come back. The issue here, Ms. Chava, is was this attack a tactical or a strategic success? It can become a tactical success in a way that it has taken back the Iranian capacity to recoup whatever was destroyed. But the question again, did the Iranian move their enriched uranium, particularly from Fordo, because it has been a biggest focus of attack in the last few days? I think the Israelis have attacked Fordo and Isfahan about 3 times without any success. But there are other nuclear facilities within the country that exist that have been attacked. And the issue is, did the Iranians move their enriched uranium to a safe location now that the focus has been on these 3 sides, particularly Fordo, Isfahan, and Natanz?
And how do you foresee Iran responding to these airstrikes?
You know, the Iranians have threatened a reprisal in case of any attack on their facilities. We are yet to see that. And it seems, given the tone coming out of Tehran, that the Iranians are unlikely to retaliate against the Americans to try to reduce tension. But there's been a tension in Iraq. You know, the supporters of the Iranian government in Iraq have been up in arms. And during the course of last week, we've seen sporadic attempt to attack some of the sites. So they may do that. That may still happen. But what the Israelis will be disappointed about, Ms. Chava, is that Iran did not target what they think are the missiles production and launch center in Iran. And that's why the Iranians have shown the capacity to respond. They've attacked a lot of sites in Tel Aviv between last night and this morning. Some of these attacks are still going on. And that's where the disappointment of the Iranians are. It appears to me, Ms. Chava, that the Americans don't want to get involved in this protracted war to try to decimate the military capacity of the Iranians, because President Trump has announced that their attack bombers have withdrawn and retracted, and they are on their way back home. So, meaning that they are unlikely to carry forward with the attacks.
And also, don't you think that Trump's declaration of, what did he say, now is the time for peace, after the airstrikes is somewhat contradictory? I mean, given the potential for escalated tension.
You may have, Ms. Chava, you may have also heard the Prime Minister Netanyahu saying peace through strength, which is the mantra that you find within the administration, the U.S. administration. Now that they've projected the strength, they may want to start peaceful discussions with the Iranians in terms of the capability of the Iranians. You know, the Americans have put themselves in a corner about this zero enrichment, which the Iranians are unlikely to accept. There are other facilities that currently the Russians are involved in, and President Putin has made it quite clear to both Netanyahu and Trump that you continue to work on these sides to develop peaceful use of nuclear energy for the Iranians. And it seems those sites have been attacked. But the question again is, did the U.S. achieve their strategic objective to obliterate, particularly Isfahan, which is in the mountainous area, very difficult? The American security establishment has come up with a conclusion that it will be very impossible for cluster, for this buster bombers to penetrate areas like Isfahan and so on. So we'll see if they manage to achieve that, or this was a cosmetic attack to try to please the constituency at home. but it has ramification going to the midterm elections. The constituency of President Trump is very divided on this issue. Trump may lose elections and he may end up being impeached if he's not careful moving forward.
And let's talk about the rest of the world now. How does the international community, particularly the UN, how do they view Trump's actions, and what role can they play in de-escalating the tension?
Well, the Security Council, Chaba, it's unlikely to come up with a unanimous position, given that the United States is part of the permanent members of the Security Council. Iran is asking for a meeting of the Security Council. They will probably sit and they will lament over this issue, but there won't be any concrete solution. The Russians are condemning this attack. The Chinese have some level of presence in that part of the world, in the Middle East, the military presence there, and they're a bit worried about the escalation of conflict. That's why you are seeing the Americans not getting entangled in the conflict as such. So we'll see how that will play itself. But the Iranians are threatening to close down the Strait of Hormuz. If they do that, and the Houthis close down the Strait of Bab al-Mandab, it's going to create a huge, huge crisis of oil around the world. The oil price is closed on Friday at 76. It's likely to go up. And some people are projecting to go to 130 US dollars. Some people are expecting that it may even go to 300 US dollars if the two straits are shut down and there's no movement of logistics supply, particularly for Europe and the rest of the world. So these are the challenges that we are likely to see.
All right, Doctor, thank you so much for your time here on Newzroom Afrika. We certainly appreciate it. That's international relations expert Dr. Kingsley Makhubela just weighing in on the top story of the day.